Okay, hey everyone. I haven't done a little video in a little while. Because I've been dealing with some issues, as many of us have been, I guess, right? It's pretty normal. Um, this is kind of a different kind of topic than I've talked about before. In my kind of author profile, finances, one of the things I supposedly talk about, and did work in the financial industry, still do kind of, I guess, but I did for many, many years. And, I've just kind of recently had an experience that has really kind of thrown my confidence, I guess, with my current financial institution. And hey, I don't know, like, stuff happens, and, there's, I don't want to be a jerk about anything, but just allow me to, I'm just going to kind of explain or whatever, to talk about my experience, and just in this video format that's maybe easier to digest than text. I'll write this down too, but I just wanted to make a video for the record. So anyway, right, we go like this, and basically, here's the transpiration. Is that I went to the corner store on October 5th, okay, at around 5:40 p.m., and tried to make a small purchase with, for sure, funds that were available. And, I received, the manager, Jagmeet, gave me the receipt back, and it said, not authorized. And I understand what this means. It's not getting my PIN wrong or anything. It's not declined lack of funds. It's not authorized. Now, that means something pretty specific, and hey, I kind of know what this stuff means, and that's okay. Surprising, I've never had my authorization declined in that way, and I don't get my PIN wrong and stuff, I really don't. But anyway, that's beside the point. I came home, and of course, right away, I log onto my online banking, and, online banking, right, it says I have the wrong password, and I don't get my password wrong. I really don't. Right, like, so the next thing I try is resetting my password, right? That's what you do. I guess if they tell you have the wrong password, even if you do have the right password, this happens occasionally, I guess, and so we reset the password with my email address. And the response I get from the Affinity Credit Union internet service is that my email address has been disassociated from my account. Now, that is very disturbing. That is very, very disturbing to get that message. And my very reasonable response to that is to call, the banking, tell the banking, whatever, the number on the back of the card and stuff, and right, like you do, and I called them, and this is October 5th, okay, and I forget who answered. I had like an error code and stuff and all this stuff, but I just called them right away because I'm thinking, I got to deal with this. I should have taken screenshots and everything, and I normally do that, like kind of do the Hansel and Gretel thing or whatever, but basically, what do we say? I got a hold of someone who's very nice, and honestly, the Affinity staff have been really, really nice. Had been really, really nice up to this point, and she was as well. She was doing everything according to policy and doing her job properly. And basically, she fully identified me, and so I'm fully identified. And then she says, and here's the crux, right? Is she says, please just let me know the numeric value of your most recent transaction, right, on your account. And I tell her, well, I can't access my account, right? I can't access my account online, so I can't see the numeric values. And I say, it's like, is it a transaction from today? And she says, yes, it's a transaction from today. And I, well, I was expecting a deposit because I normally receive a stipend from the federal government. I can explain how, like, the reasons for my receiving a stipend in a later video if you want to ask me or whatever. But the point is I normally do receive, some kind of credit deposit on this day in the bi-weekly schedule or whatever, okay? So I was expecting a deposit, and but I didn't know the exact numeric value because I couldn't see it, right? And so I explained to her this is a bit of a catch-22. Well, it's a classic catch-22 in that I have to know the information in order to provide it, and in order to learn the information, I need to provide it initially, and I can't provide the correct information unless I learn it in order to know it, etc. I mean, you can see how that's a catch-22 or whatever. I've read that book, and I mean, I know about that kind of thing, right? But there's supposedly a solution for all of this, and then she says, look, you'll just have to go into the branch tomorrow and with your ID and stuff, and they'll sort it out for you. And I'm like, of course, that's no problem, because fortunately, my partner had some cash, and like I was able to make my small purchase and stuff, but really it's disturbing to be, totally locked out of your account with, right. The explanation was that it was a highly unusual deposit to my account. That's what the language that the phone agent used, was it was a highly unusual deposit. And really, I've never heard of a credit deposit, kind of revoking access to your account, but that appeared to be what had happened. I mean, that's kind of, I had a long conversation with this woman on the phone, right? And she was saying, and I confirmed it's a deposit that came in today, and she said yes. I said October 5th, yes, and so forth, right? Right? And so on, so forth, etc., etc. This deposit was, the credit was deposited into my account today, October 5th. I mean, it's normal. It's not even a big deal, right? It's just like the reason for whatever's happening and stuff or something, anyways, not a big deal or whatever, but the next day I go into the branch. And I have to say, the branch teller was acting fairly nervous. She did a pretty good job. She's a pretty good, doing well. But she tells me, like, look, I mean, your password was never changed, first of all. Your email address was never disassociated. Okay, I mean, that's what the internet service told me. And she really couldn't understand why I couldn't access my account. But the night before, I was calling in, and she was saying, yeah, I mean, you will have to provide this, and she was referring to a deposit and so on, and so, yeah, I asked for my balance, and the teller wrote it down there, and I said, okay, blah, 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 and I came home, and, I hadn't received any explanation that really made sense as to why I wasn't able to use my debit card on, about 5:44 p.m. at the SO on October 5th, 2021, and, I would like an explanation, because I feel that I should normally be able to use my bank account, right? I should be able to, use my debit card and stuff, and if it doesn't work, then someone should be able to provide an explanation that actually makes sense, too, especially when I can't access my online account, and then when I have, a pursuant discussion with their support staff, and I'm given information and so on, and right, I mean, it's normal stuff. Pretty easy to deal with, from any standpoint. I mean, there shouldn't be any big deal about this, right? But so I get home from the teller or the branch, and I call over to tech support, because I just would like to talk to the technical support department about, people who actually understand the mechanics of these systems, because I do. I've worked in the PCI industry and in the finance industry since I was 18 or so. I mean, really, I kind of know how all this stuff works. But hey, you got to deal with the people who can actually see the information and stuff, because I can't, right? I mean, they say you're, anyway, we can talk about that later. The point is, I call over to technical support, and I know enough about telecom that, the queue is not that long, and, I was on hold for a real long time, real long. I don't have to say how long. And then I know what different sounds mean, and I know when things are being directed in different ways, and so I hear my call being redirected. And I know what it sounds like when that happens. It doesn't matter, people can say, no, you can't possibly know that, or whatever, but I know. Okay, so I get someone, and right away I ask, is this the tech support department? And she says, well, and she can't say yes, because it's not true, but she says, well, what's your problem here, young man, or whatever? And I'm like, well, no, I mean, who are you? Is this a technical support department? Because that's who I called. I pressed 2 for technical support, etc., and so on. And she says, she's in Carlisle, Saskatchewan, okay, and basically she gives me a bunch of what I'd call guff, I mean, I don't want to be a jerk or whatever, but I mean, she's not really listening to what I'm saying, and I say, look, you're gonna have to get a manager to talk to me, and I would really like to be able to talk to the tech support department, like I, tried to. And so for the next couple days here, because that was October 5th, today's October 8th, I've been calling tech support every day. But every time I dial tech support, I actually get like some other kind of department or whatever. It's really weird. And they say like, I mean, they very very, very strange, right? I mean, uh, they're not tech support. I dial tech support, my call gets redirected to some other department that isn't tech support. They're specifically not tech support, and yeah, and like one day I dialed the regular line. I talked to Tanis, and Tanis was very, 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 very helpful in the sense that she was a great listener, and she promised to get an in-depth technical manager to contact me ASAP, because that's really what I need here, right, is an in-depth technical manager just to deal with explaining, why I wasn't able to use my card, and why these disturbing messages appeared, and why, I was informed of a highly unusual credit deposit, and then there's no evidence of it, and I was expecting a deposit, etc., etc. And I mean, Affinity Credit Union does have a very, very good deposit insurance policy, and that is in fact a big part of the reason why I bank with them, even though they're not a bank and so on. They're a financial institution, though. Okay, and so today though, I have to say, after a number of conversations with the staff over at Credit Union, none of them with technical support, and you have to understand, I tried to contact technical support initially, and have not been able to. And today, Meg over at Affinity Credit Union told me that her and Bonnie decided that I'm not afforded technical support. Those are the words she used, and I made sure to ask, you're saying, like, am I not afforded technical support? She said, no, we're not going to give you any technical support. No one is going to follow up with you on this. And I'm like, okay, I mean, okay, I guess. Like, it made me kind of sad. I mean, I'm like, and I asked her, like, as a client of the credit union, am I afforded technical support in a general way? And she said, no, we are not going to give you any technical support. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mengta. We're not going to give you any technical support. So maybe I misunderstand what technical support is. I remember this being like a pretty normal thing. In fact, if anyone ever requested technical support in my previous financial services jobs, of course I would connect them. If I would try to resolve their issue, but if they needed further support, I mean, they would put them up the chain, right? And I mean, the thing is that Meg and Bonnie, I don't know what their like authorization level is or whatever, but I mean, it seems pretty strange to me that like I dial the technical support number, I push the button for it and stuff, and my call gets redirected. Anyway, that's 12:37. You get the gist. Come on, guys. Like, it's normal. You can get technical support for your financial services, and I'm not really. I know I'm being a little bit demanding or something, but like, I'm just trying to survive here. Okay, so yeah, there we go, and that's my little bit for today. Have fun, everyone.